Have you ever ridden your velomobile inside of a revolving door? This is pretty close, but I think it'll manage. I think I can. Well, I have.
Hi, welcome to this video in which I'll give you my opinion of the Quattrovelo number 70, which I've now owned for a year or two, and I've ridden 10,000 kilometers in it. Let's see what's up. Let me walk you through this. I'll start with the general experiences, talk about the Quattrovelo in general and this one in specific. So, of course, as you might all know, this is the only production four-wheeler around at the time, which means it has a bigger back than all the others. It has more stability in corners, it can handle side winds better, but as its bum is a little bit fat, it's also quite a bit heavier and slower than a few others. Now, I must say I absolutely love it. I think the Quattrovelo gets a 9 out of 10, in my opinion. Let me start from the top and go to the bottom. First of all, most of you might have noticed that I've put this massive LED whip on top. Now, I'm very, very, very happy that I did that. I get a lot of positive response from it. There are two LED strips in there, one red to the back, white to the front, which really helps with being visible, especially at night, and it is about at car height. So I mean, it really takes away the argument that people cannot see you when you're so low. A lot of people change their mind once they see that lit up in the dark. I have selected the racing hood, or the winter hood, or whatever you call it. So this is pretty awesome. I do not have the summer hood. I basically think this is great weather protection in winter especially, and in summer it's quite okay. When it's more than 20 degrees Celsius outside, I prefer an open bicycle anyway, but this racing hood really does the job. It has one spring there, which keeps it quite stable. I think that's enough. I fiddled about a little bit with the like the straps to make it rattle a little bit less, and at a certain point I even had like rubbers on top of here, but they fell off. I have new ones, but I don't think they're necessary anymore. Really love the the closed hood. It's really good in winter, keeps your head dry, and together with the foam cover, it really makes an excellent winter vehicle. I have selected for two rear view mirrors, which is something I would advise every commuter to do, which is really handy. And I love the fact that I got these white colored aero covers. The Quattrovelo's lights are a lot higher than with other velomobiles. They used to be like here with the Quest. Now they're higher, and there are two of them, which makes you look a little bit wider and a bigger vehicle when they see you approaching at night. I think the front really looks like an owl. I think it's beautiful. And I think these lights work perfectly well. You can adjust them from the inside, a little bit higher, lower, and they have two settings, low beam and high beam. A few other options I went for is this little grip to move it about and lift it when it's standing still, which I really like. I've also selected to have only one big chainring at the front. I don't have a double. I live in a flat country, and I've never considered the necessity for a front derailleur or a second gear in the front. And I just have the 11 speed at the back. I did not opt for the disc brakes. I did not opt for anything else, just the two colors, red and white, and basic gearing. The only text I put on it is 100% muscle power in Dutch, because the most frequently asked question is always, does it have an engine? I get about a cruising speed of 35 kilometers an hour on a regular day. Depending on if I'm in regular clothes or with cycling clothes, I can go above 40 if I want to, and if I really don't want to break a sweat, I stay at about a little bit below 30 kilometers an hour. On the inside we have tiller steering, which works like in a regular Quest with the horn, the brakes, and everything else, the gearing. There's a battery to the left which controls the light and also the light whip on top. There's a speedometer. There used to be like a small inside light right here, but I removed that and I put the cable all the way through to the LED whip at the top, so I have a second switch controlling that. I've put a little mat in here. Well, the guys at velomobiel.nl did that, which stops things from rattling. I don't have it on the other side, so if I have something rattly, I put it on the right hand side. For example, my phone. Here you can see the cable I've run all the way through into the hood. And you can also see the boot, in which I always carry a spare wheel, not a spare wheel, but a spare outer tire. And this is where my foam cover goes when it's not raining. I just put it like that. Or if I need a lot of space, I can put it lower. And that way there's still a lot of space left. Aside from a few punctures, I've had no mechanical difficulties with this Quattrovelo. I sometimes read about people getting structural problems in the back, but this one, number 70, is doing just fine even after 10,000 kilometers. The gearing shifts perfectly, and the only maintenance I've had to do to it is basically replace some outer tires once in a while and oil the chain like once. Finally, tire choice. A Quattrovelo comes from the Netherlands, and they deliver it with 40 millimeters 406 shredders, which I think is a terrible idea in any country outside of the Netherlands. Those guys must have huge, big, wide cycling paths because that makes your turning radius ridiculously large. I have opted, finally, after trying many different sorts of tires, for the Continental Sport Contacts. 28 millimeters. This is something I would advise all of you to do. Switch to 28 millimeter tires. Why not at the back as well? They work great. They're puncture resistant. They have a good rolling resistance, not that much, and they don't cost that much. So I don't see any reason to ride anything wider than 28 millimeter, especially at the front. It will make your turning radius so much better.